everybody, and welcome to your Wednesday reading for YouTube. As we stated last video, we are no longer doing our daily messages from Spirit. We are doing 2 longer videos for the Wednesday and weekend readings instead. And then on Patreon, we're also doing once a week longer readings rather than the daily messages from Spirit. So we just wanted to let you guys know that. We do have a Patreon account that you can sign up for as little as $1 a month. And there's still slots available for you to sign up and get a free personalized reading. So that's something for you to think about over there. If you like shorter readings and so forth, we are just barely getting our toe into TikTok. We're real busy because we're getting ready to go on vacation, and so we haven't had much time to produce much over there yet. But hopefully in the next week or 2 or so, we'll start getting more familiar with that and putting up a couple of videos a week or so over there. We're at Crossing the Spirit on TikTok and at Crossing the Spiritual Streams on Patreon. So just to let you know that, so that if you decide you want to check out some short videos, you can do so. Once we get enough Patreon members, and if you guys really like the daily messages, we might bring them back then, but we're just figure for value wise, we would rather do these for you guys. That way we get a little bit more value for the watchers that are out there. So just to let you know that. So today's reading is messages from your ancestors. I don't think I've done a reading like that. I think I've done similar readings, but this is just kind of your ancestors have a chance to come out and talk, say things, you know, like you're similar to them in certain ways, or you're different in other ways, or they're, you know, happy with you, or proud of you, or would like for you to maybe pursue this or that, or, you know, anything that happens to come out. This is whatever messages your ancestors would like for you to kind of know and think about or ponder on. And so it's whatever happens. We do have our tarot cards here. We have pile 1 with the red dinosaur. We have pile 2 with the blue dinosaur, and pile 3 with the green dinosaur. We will be doing our tarot cards. This does include charms as well to help us with those messages and clarify things and so forth. And then also our oracle spheres. If you have a question that you would like to get answered, we will be doing those as well. So you can be thinking about a yes or no type of question. Okay, this is best to go with your gut instinct on these piles, and whichever one's pulling you in the most should be the one that has your messages. You can pick more than one pile if you wish or feel compelled to do so. Or you can watch one pile now, and maybe, you know, 6 months, a year from now, you come across the video again and pick a different pile. That's possible as well. So just whatever works out best for you or your gut instinct's telling you to go with. Okay? All right, so we're going to give you some time to reflect on the piles, and when you've decided which one or more than one that you would like to watch, there are timestamps in the description to lead you directly to your reading, and we'll see you there. Hello, pile 1, and welcome to your reading. Those of you that chose the red dinosaur here, so remember, these are messages from your ancestors. This is anything that they want to tell you, come out with, let you know, just whatever happens to come through. So it can be pretty much about anything and everything. So we're going to do that. Remember, we're doing our charms and our oracle spheres as well, so you can think of a yes or no type of question that you can get an answer to. All right, let's take a look and see what we've got available to us today. We've got the 9 of Swords. We've got the 9 of Wands. And the 9 of Cups. Okay, intriguing. We have the Hermit card, which is also number 9. We have Pleasure, or the 6 of Cups. We have the 6 of Coins, or Material Success. We have the Page of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Death card. Wow, okay. Lots of 9s and 6s in your reading, and of course, some people can even take a 9 and turn it up, or take 6s and turn them upside down to make a 9 out of them. So there's that's very intriguing to me, that there are so many 9s and 6s going on here. Okay, give me just a moment. I've got some things starting to maybe come my way just a little bit, and I want to kind of get it solidified here. So give me just a moment. All right, first of all, I see that your ancestors see you as a very independent person. Somebody who likes to do things on their own. You don't ask for help on a lot of projects. You rely on your own wit and self-esteem and other things like that to get things done. You like to listen to your own counsel a lot. If people try to tell you how to do things, you don't necessarily like to listen to that. You want to do it on your own. You have a very independent spirit. And your ancestors are telling you that comes from a long line of people that are quite independent that way. And so forth. Now, I kind of see a temper even involved with this some, in that you can get impatient, or you can get, if somebody does something that kind of upsets you, you could really fly off the handle at them, but then you can calm down quite easily as well. I almost think of like a kind of an Irish or Scotch, redheaded spirit, kind of that kind of energy. That doesn't mean that your ancestors are from there, that's that kind of thing, but I do kind of get that energy at least flowing through. And it is quite possible quite a few of you have ancestors from those areas over in Great Britain and Ireland. Okay, so I got that. And that's one of the things that they're saying, is that you're very independent. They like that you're independent, but they do want to caution you that kind of stress that you put on yourself at times, to do everything on your own, to not rely on others and so forth, can sometimes cause some mental anguish, I guess is maybe the word I'm thinking of, or kind of aloneership. It can kind of make you be alone when you don't necessarily want to be. Okay? You can push people away by being that way at times. And that is something that they kind of want to caution you of, or at least let you in on that, so that you're not drawn into that in such a way. I get the feeling there's at least one of the ancestors that's coming through, I feel like, is an older female that was kind of this way, and it even led to them not ever getting married, and being kind of a spinster kind of person back in the day. Now, back a ways from now, and even nowadays to a certain degree, there seems to be a stigma about not getting married and not being in a relationship and not having a family and all of those things. And it was really, really so back in the day, that if you were alone like that and didn't get married and didn't get hooked up with somebody, you were kind of you were looked down upon on society just slightly, or pitied, or things like that. And nowadays, that's not really the same thing. A lot of times being on your own nowadays is a choice, and so forth. So I'm not saying that you have to get with somebody and get married or have a partner or anything like that. But the energy is still there, that you might exclude a lot of people and end up being kind of a loner. Even if you have no intentions of being in a serious relationship with somebody, you still need friends and other people like that to be close to. And so even if you don't want to have an intimate relationship, with a partner type person, you at least, would want to be friendly with some people or have people that you could talk to and so forth. So they just kind of want to warn you that your independent spirit can be one that could cause some issues and possibly where you might even be on your own. That is one message here. There's several other coming, or at least some other stuff here. So let me think. They do feel like you can get very fired up about things, and that that's a really good thing. They really like that about you. They feel like if there was something that you truly loved or truly wanted or whatever, that you wouldn't let anything stop you from achieving it, or they see you have a lot of drive. They really like that. They think that that's awesome. They feel proud of you for that. That's something that they really appreciate. The other thing that they're kind of saying here as well with the 6s and 9s is, in numerology, 6s are kind of the nurturing numbers. And it's interesting here with the 6 of Cups and with the material success, the 6 of Coins. They are very nurturing sort of energies on the cards as well. But they're very much a nurture type of energy. You taking care of others, you possibly working for others, being a servant or a protector or things like that. That you're very good at protecting others, helping others, nurturing others, and so forth. But then the 9 too in numerology is the humanitarian number. It's basically the person who cares a lot about human beings and the earth, and they're kind of innovative. They want to put things out there for humans to utilize and do something cool with, and the two kind of go together, because the 9s being kind of doing things for humanity, and caring a lot, and then the 6s being kind of a nurturer. The two go together really well, and that's something that your ancestors wanted you to realize is deep within inside you. This nurturing energy, this caring energy, this protectorate type of energy is inside you, and they want you to tap into it, because you might do it upon occasion. You might tap into things like that, but you don't necessarily utilize those parts of your personality very well, especially not amongst others or people that care about you, or trying to think, like, if there's people in your life that really show a lot of attention towards you or care about you a lot, or trying to think of another word, maybe spend time with you, that kind of thing. If there are people like that in your life, it is possible that you hold them at arm's length more than your ancestors would like for you to do, because you do have this inner need to help others and to protect others and to guide others and nurture others and help them along. It's part of your independent spirit that does that, and you don't tap into that as often as your ancestors think that would make you happy. So they're letting you know that as well, that tapping into that energy, that nurturing protectorate, humanitarian, you do things for your fellow people that you care about. That's kind of the energy that you have going throughout your reading here. The other thing too, the death card usually denotes some sort of change, some sort of something being changed up, and I was trying to figure out what the ancestors were wanting to tell you with that card, because I was getting a couple of different vibes or other things kind of coming off of it, where I feel like there is the idea of change, and they did want you to change up how you thought about things a little bit, but there also is that idea of possible death or something coming to an end and then other things coming to a beginning. And that energy makes me feel like they might be telling you that you are kind of on that cusp of um, ending up some sort of relationship or something in your life, and then something new would come from that, and they're trying to let you know that, or at least give you a heads up that this is coming, or have you think about it. There could be, wow, trying to think of the best way to put this. There could be really good things coming from this. There also could be some warning in that you might miss out on something, or you might skip over something uh, because you're in your haste to make the change or go forward. So that's just kind of something going on there. We're going to go ahead and look at your charms. We're going to get an idea if there's anything else they want to tell you, or if there's anything else that would be useful for you to know, and then we'll go on from there. All right, so let's take a look at our charms here and see what else we can find out about that your ancestors might like you to know, or mention to you, or whatever. We'll give this a really good shake up here and see what we got. Okay, we do have a 7, and we also have the spirit feather. And to me, that usually denotes a connection with spirit that's very strong. You have very strong intuition. You possibly have some, not just intuitive, but possibly able to, oh goodness, able to, with the Wands energy here too, with the Page and Knight of Wands, that also shows that connection with spirit that we're talking about. And it's very possible you have some very special gifts dealing with I think it would be something like you could be, I think you're good with mental health issues. I think in of yourself, you might have some issues dealing with your mental health, in that you might get extraordinarily anxious at times, or other things come up. And I think it's because you're very empathic. And some of those issues sometimes can cause you to be a little bit more nervous and anxious than maybe some other people, because you get a lot of feelings from other people. This is a thing, an ability that you got from your ancestors. It actually came straight down the line. Quite a few of your ancestors had this ability as well. Sometimes people would come and seek them out for counseling and other things like that, because that is something you would be very good at, giving advice and listening to people and so forth. That's something that you get from your ancestors. We have several cards here. Let's see if we can kind of get through these and see what these are. We have the 4 of Swords. We have the Jack of Wands, which is kind of like the Page again. We have the King of Hearts or Cups. And then we also have the 3 of Wands. Those Wands energy, once again, show your connection with spirit. They also show some creativity. You have a certain amount of creative expression that actually has some intellect behind it. It's not just creative, not just kind of out there, but there's actually some intellectual knowledge behind your creativity, which makes it rather unique. It makes it a little something special and so forth. So that might be something that you might consider developing. Your ancestors see that very strongly in you, and it might be something worth you looking into more. It's interesting how you have a bicycle and the luxury car. these are modes of transportation to get you around places, and they're also a sign of wealth and luxury, having wealth and so forth. And I kind of see this, what I'm getting from this, what's coming through from your ancestors on this, is that you might come from kind of a poorer background, kind of a maybe lower middle class background, not necessarily incredibly poor or dirt poor, but I mean, some of your ancestors may have had that issue, but the bicycle is something that, especially when it first came out, more richer people could get it, and then as time came on, more middle class people tended to have bikes, and maybe some poorer people as well. It was one way for them to be able to get around, and nowadays, almost anybody who wants one can have a bicycle of some sort to get them around. And, all over the world, bicycles are used for transportation and for being able to get from one place to another. But then you transform that into the luxury vehicle. This is also kind of a transformation of when horse and buggies and bicycles and things could be used to get around, and then we went to cars, and cars became more popular. So I'm thinking that is also a symbol of the ancestors that are coming through at the moment in the reading. Might be from, I'm getting the 1930s. So if there's any particular relatives that you know from that era that you might have been especially close to, either you knew them in life or you heard of them, like they were a grandparent or great grandparent, and you heard a lot of tales of them, or maybe family members tell you that you're very much like them. It could be an aunt, an uncle, a father, grandfather, grandmother, people like that. They could be, people that people could talk to you about and say, boy, you remind me of them, or you're just like them, or something like that. There is a strong connection between you two, even if you have not met. It is possible that this person died before you were born or when you were very little, but it's also a possibility that you actually knew them for a while when you were young. But I do get the feeling they've been gone for quite a while. If you did know them, okay. So that's just kind of a connection there, so you know maybe who we're talking about ancestor-wise, or who we're discussing. There might even be some very special family memories about this person that you laugh about or smile about when you hear, because I kind of get that kind of reference as well. We have a Q and an E. Once again, I'm seeing intellect. I'm seeing a lot of smarts. Your ancestors coming through sees lots of intelligence in you, where you just are smarter than the average bear, basically. You or sometimes they're so intelligent that you actually do things to your detriment. Because sometimes when people are really, really smart, sometimes they also do really dumb things too. It's kind of, a double-edged sword, or a two-sided coin kind of thing. So, that, can happen. Sorry about that, guys. I'm leaning forward. I'm having a little trouble breathing here. Okay. There is the light the way and own your dreams, and then the dragonfly. I love these symbols in your reading because I do feel like you have a lot of special talents that you can utilize to help humanity and other people, and help do things for them. And also, I do believe you might have some dreams that if you follow those, some of what you create or do or work on could also help humanity as well. And your ancestors letting you know that is a possibility for you to do. I see the dragonfly as being a very special symbol. Whenever I see the dragonfly, I always think of gentle strength, if that makes any sense at all. And I do get that attitude that you're a gentle person. I think that's part of the empathic nature that we were talking about, but you're also very strong and motivated, and strong as steel is the message I'm kind of getting there. So the combination can be a very, very, I'm trying to think of the word I want to use. It can be a very special one. It can be, the combination between being very sensitive and empathic and caring and, strong as nails and strong as steel and have that whole nature and that intelligence backing it up. The amount of things that you can accomplish and the things that you can do with that combination are pretty strong. So sorry, guys. I'm having a really hard time breathing. I'm having to take deeper breaths than normal. I'm so sorry. Okay. My sinuses are kind of clogged, so it might be having something to do with it. All right, let's take a look at your oracle spheres. This is where you think of a yes or no question that you can get an answer to. And we have 4 stands for you to choose from. We have green, bronze, silver, and gold. You decide which one you'd like to get your answer on. You think of that yes or no question, and then we'll go and we'll get your answers. So number 1, green, is a maybe. Number 2, bronze, is a not now. Number 3, silver, is also a not now. And a number 4, gold, is a no. So we have a maybe, a not now, and a no. So there's your oracle sphere answers for today's reading. Thank you so much for being here. We really hope you had some messages that you liked hearing and that it was fun for you to have your ancestor come through for you like that. If you would like to check out our Patreon page, we are at Crossing Spiritual Streams over there. There are links in the description that will lead you to all the places that we're at. We are barely starting TikTok, but we're hoping to increase that as time goes on, and we're at Crossing the Spirit over there. And so all of those things are available to you. We have a lot of videos over here on YouTube for you to check out if you haven't done that. And if you could subscribe to the channel and give an opportunity for your friends and family to check us out, leave us comments, give the video a thumbs up. All of those things mean a great deal to us, and it really helps the YouTube algorithm decide to share our channel with people, which is what we really need. We need people to find us, and they kind of are stingy about getting our videos out to people, so we're having a hard time finding people. I'm not even sure that they're letting our subscribers know when we put out new videos half the time. All right, guys, we appreciate you so very much, and we do look forward to seeing you again in other videos, and may the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the blue dinosaur here, and these are your messages from your ancestors. Pretty much anything that they would like to talk about, or anything that they want you to know, or anything that just crops up in the reading, we will pass on and we will let you know about. Okay, we do have your tarot cards, and we have our charms to help us out of here as well. And then we also have the oracle spheres, where you can think of a yes or no question that you can get an answer to, and we will be doing that as well. Okay? So let's take a look here and see what your ancestors would like to say to you here. Okay, we've got the 10 of Wands. We got the Page of Cups. Okay, interesting. Getting a little bit of something coming through. 6 of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, the material trouble fight. Yeah, it's the 5 of Coins. I'm getting something through in the reading already. Just with the cards that have popped up so far. Let me see what else we've got going here. We got the illusionary success, or the 7 of Cups. We've got the Emperor card, or the we got the Chariot, the 10 of Cups, and the Empress. Okay, wow. Okay, well, one of the first things that came through with the first several cards was that you kind of had to grow up before your time. as a child, you had a lot of responsibilities for the family. Either you had a sick parent, or you had to start working kind of young to help support the family, or some other thing like that, that you were the person in your family who kind of had to step up to the plate even though you were young. You had to grow up a little faster than you intended. Um, and things were hard when you were young. You had a lot of burdens, you had some other things like that going on. You might have even had some dreams that you really would have liked to have fulfilled, but because you had to step up to the plate and do other things, maybe those kind of went by the wayside. Okay? That is something your family member is letting you know that they saw. They realized that you had to do that. They understood that that was something you had to do. It was important that you did it, and they're not saying you shouldn't have. They're saying they see you, they realized that you had done so, and they were very proud of you for doing that and for stepping up to the plate and being that person that could help your family like that. So they wanted to acknowledge that. They wanted basically all of us to know that you were a great person and that you sacrificed quite a bit to do what needed to be done, and they wanted to acknowledge that for you, and also for us to know as well. Now, but there is another message here. I get the feeling that that responsibility that you had is no longer valid or needed. Either the situation has reversed itself, or the person or persons that you were taking care of are no longer with us and you don't need to do that anymore, or somebody else has come along and taken up some of the burden and slack of that. Somehow or another, your sacrifices and things that you've had to do are no longer necessary. Okay? And the person that's coming through, there's only one that's really kind of sending the messages at the moment. The person that's coming through would like for you to realize that it's a good idea now to maybe change up your life and some of the things that you were done, and start living for your own success and happiness. You have the Emperor, the Empress, and the Ten of Cups cards, along with the Chariot, along with the Seven of Cups, which is, like I said, a lot of dreams and wishes and hopes that you might have set aside, but also dreams and hopes and wishes that can also still come true. It's kind of a double card there as far as what it could mean. And so with that coming through, they really, really, really want you to be aware of now would be a really good time for you to possibly change things up and start working towards your own happiness and your own success. I love the Emperor and the Empress being in the reading because, they're kind of the ultimate high up cards. They're the ones that rule kind of everything, take care of everything. They have all of the wealth and all the riches and the knowledge and all these other things. And then the Ten of Cups card, that's kind of the ultimate happiness, especially family and friends and, things that make life joyous. The Chariot card, of course, is a big change or fast moving changes or transformation from one thing to another, moving forward. And so that's really coming through strongly, as that would be something that your ancestor would like for you to maybe focus on or think about or work towards, because you really have an opportunity to be quite happy and successful in your life with what you're doing. And now that you don't need to sacrifice so much for the family, that it should be a lot easier for you to start pursuing those things, and you don't have to stay in the mode that you've been in for so long. And it's almost like the world doesn't really work this way, but it's almost like it's your reward. It's not like we get punished, for doing wrong things, and there is karma But, a lot of times people think, well, I did this, or, this and that and the other things happened to me. What did I do wrong? What am I being punished for? But a lot of times it isn't necessarily punishment. I think it's more of us learning how to deal with certain situations, or learning certain character traits, or learning certain ways to deal with things, or whatever. There's lots of different reasons. But and it doesn't work the other way either, where we do good deeds and other stuff, and then all of a sudden the universe does really good things for us. At least not entirely. Sometimes I do think we get rewarded for things, especially if we do them without any kind of expectation of a reward. But this is sort of like a reward for you. This is sort of like, you've done the one things you need to do. Now it's time to transfer over to this other mode, and reap the benefits and the success of all the hard work and everything that you've done. So that's the one thing that your ancestor really would like to put out there for you, is that they see what you've done, they're happy with you, they're very proud of you, they feel like you can go on with your life and be extraordinarily successful and happy, and they would love to see you do that. They want to see that next chapter unfold for you. They're also part of your spirit team. They are whoever this is that's coming through, and I don't know who it is for sure. They're not being very clear about that, but whoever it is that is putting through the messages at the moment, they are one of your spirit, your angels and spirit guides and other people. They're part of the people that help you out when you need it, and help support you and help guide you, and give you direction and things like that. They've been a part of your life, very strongly for a while, and you feel them. You kind of know when they're there. You really have a strong connection to this ancestor, and they feel a very strong connection to you. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our charms, and we'll get any other messages or ideas or thoughts or anything else that we might get coming through. Okay. Give this a really, really good shake up. Okay. We do have a 5. That does denote change. So I do think that they think now's a good time for a change. Now's a good time to shake things up, move things along, do that kind of thing. You have some interesting... We do have the skull and crossbones. To me, that's usually a warning about some kind of deception or stealing or other things. But in your case, that's not what's coming up. I'm more of getting a pirate adventure feeling. Like maybe it's now the time to go on some adventures, some type of things, or feeling some adventures, some stuff. You also have the beautiful seashell here. So maybe being near water, or going out on a boat, or doing some sort of something like that might be in order. I don't know why that came through. I don't know what significance that is, but that might be something for you to think about. We do have the wolf here. Wolves are interesting. They like to live in families. They like to live in packs. They care about their pack. If you get a wolf that's out there by himself, he'll howl and so forth looking for his pack. He doesn't like to be alone. And I'm thinking what this message is coming through for you is that you're not alone, that you are part of a pack. You have lots of ancestors there who support you and care about you. You have family members here, even if they're distant ones, or you have friends that you consider family that are part of your pack as well. And you have lots and lots of people behind you. And I think your ancestors just want you to realize that, because I think a lot of times we don't. This is interesting. You have the moon and the star, and you also have the star bunny. Usually those indicate to me some sort of, a lot of times some sort of psychic ability, or ability to read the stars, or connect with spirit in some way. We didn't talk about that in your reading at all, and so I'm not sure how much this really applies to your reading. It might just mean, because what I'm really getting from this, rather than the normal, spiritual gifts and things like that, rather than that coming through for your reading, this to me is more of a symbol of emotion, like caring, like the moon stands for mother, and that kind of love and caring and so forth. And then we've got the stars going with the bunny, and you think of bunnies as being soft and loving and cuddly and, that kind of energy. And then you've also got the stars going on here where maybe a lot of the people that you've truly cared about and loved maybe have gone on to the stars. Maybe that's part of what the message is about there. So I don't know. That's just something maybe for you to kind of interpret what that specific meaning is supposed to be all about, because I don't think it has to do with the special spiritual abilities that I would normally associate with those. It's interesting here how you have two Z's. To me, that can denote a couple things. First of all, can denote rest and sleeping. And you did have, I believe, the four of... Did you? Let me see. Maybe not. No, you didn't. Okay. There could be some sort of... Maybe they want you to take a rest or take a break, kind of thing with the Z's there. But it also could mean... Z's are kind of the ending of the English alphabet. And so I really feel like you're kind of at a cusp of an ending and then a new beginning. And they really want to see you push forward to the new beginning. So I really feel like that might have a lot to do with the Z's there as well. Besides resting and sleeping. The other thing, this is going to sound really odd, but if it resonates with you, you'll know the message was for you. I believe some of you are having sinus issues that you should get looked at. Okay? And the reason why I thought of that is because I thought of snoring, and that's could be causing you some other health issues or some other problems. If that resonates with you, if that seemed to kind of hit you, or you understood where that was coming from, then that message was for you. Okay? We do have the Just One Life and Be You Bravely, and then also Beautiful. Your ancestors see you as being very beautiful, being very wonderful. Like I said, they think you as a beautiful soul. They really love who you are as a person. But also, the Just One Life and the Be You Bravely means now's the time to live your life for you and do what you want to do and what you would like to see. Now's that time. We talked about that earlier, and that's really coming through strongly with those two messages. So that's something for you to think about, and something for you to realize that they would like for you to do. All right? Let's go ahead and do your oracle spheres. You have 4 different stands. You have gold, silver, bronze, and green. You decide which one you'd like to get your answers on. You think of a yes or no type of question, and then we go get your answers. All right, so here we go. Number 1, gold, not sure. Number 2, silvers, not likely. Number 3, bronze is a no. And a number 4, green is a not now. So we have a not sure, a not likely, a no, and a not now. So there's your oracle sphere answers for today's reading. Thank you so much for being here and being part of the channel. If you haven't subscribed, we'd like to invite you to do so. Also, if you could give the video a thumbs up, share the channel with your friends and family, and leave us comments in the comment section. All those things are super important to us, and it really helps the YouTube algorithm share our channel with other people. And that's really what we're needing right now more than anything else, because we know if people can actually see our videos or know that they're out there, that we would gain a lot more subscribers and support. We know that'll happen. We just know YouTube isn't really showing our stuff very much. So anything like that that you can do for us, we very much appreciate. You can check us out over on Patreon. Don't forget, you can sign up for as little as $1 a month. And don't think that that's too little. We set it up that way on purpose so that some people could take advantage and still support us and not have to pay out a whole lot to do it. We will have tiers down the road that if people want to donate more or give more, they can, but that's not necessary or needed at the moment. And we're cool with whatever. Just the thought that you would want to support us in any way is useful to us. And hopefully we give something back to you as well. There are still free personalized readings along with that sign up if you'd like to do that. So we just wanted to let you know that as well. All right, guys, we look very much forward to seeing you again in other videos, and may the stars guide your path. Bye-bye. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. Those of you that chose the green dinosaur here. All right, now we've got your messages from your ancestors here. Whatever they want to tell you or want to come through or whatever they'd like to, let you know or whatever. I never know what's going to come through on readings like that. It's just whatever they would like to let out. We will also be looking at your charms to help interpret things more or give us more messages. And then we're also going to be doing your oracle spheres where you can think of a yes or no question that you can get an answer to. So let's go through and find out what your ancestors have to say. Okay, we've got the shadow side. We've got the Two of Cups. We got the Knight of Wands. We've got the Chariot card. We have the Ace of Cups. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Two of Cups again. Interesting. Then we also have the Nine of Cups and the Strength card. Okay, give me just a moment here to figure out what they might want to tell you. I'm getting the feeling that they want to talk about you and a sibling. Like either you have a sibling you're extremely close to, very much, bonded with, that, you guys, kind of went everywhere, did everything, were with each other, kind of inseparable kind of energy I'm getting here. If this doesn't resonate with you, this might not be the right reading, because this is coming through pretty strong. And if it's, or there might be something else in the reading that would be a message for you if you want to stick it out. But every once in a while, certain messages come through that don't seem like they'd be for everybody watching, but that they're still coming through. So there we go. For some reason, I feel like you have a sibling that you're very close to, and they want to talk about that in some way. I'm not sure exactly what they want to say about there. There's a couple of different things that are popping up, so maybe there's more than one scenario for those of you that are close to your siblings. I'm not real sure. Let's see if we can kind of... Okay, the one energy I'm getting that's coming through is that you were very, very close as children, and even, into, teenage years and whatnot, but that something happened, a super scary situation. I feel like there was somehow or another you guys got lost in the woods, or you did something that you would get in trouble for, or you were in a dangerous situation. Like I'm thinking, of like a river that's flooding or something, those kinds of things. That somehow or another you were in a very scary, very rough situation at some point in your lives, either, as children or young adults, 10, 12, 14, somewhere in that area. And somehow or another, I'm either getting that your sibling got extraordinarily hurt or passed away, or your relationship with the sibling might have had a little bit of damage to it based on this event that happened. That's kind of the energies I'm getting. If they passed away, it hurts my heart terribly to hear about that, and I'm so, so sorry. I don't think that's for very many of you, though. I think mostly it was just a very traumatic event, and something, you know, almost life-altering and life-changing. But I do think that you guys might have grown apart after that some, and that you didn't spend quite as much time together. You might have stopped talking to each other on a regular basis. I mean, you know, you loved each other and you saw each other, but you didn't really hang out the way you had been. I even get the feeling that maybe your sibling moved away, you know, once they got old enough to do so, and that you might not have communicated with them as much as you had when you were younger. Okay. Now, if you guys did not have an event like that, but you were close to a sibling when you were younger, then I feel like just somehow as an adult, you guys have kind of grown apart, and that your closeness is not there as much as it had been. And what your ancestor really wants to put out there for those of you that still have the opportunity to communicate with your sibling is that they think that now is the time to rekindle that relationship, because it's a very special one. And that bond that you guys have is one that could serve you throughout the rest of your life and serve them as well. Excuse me. And your ancestor is kind of sad that you guys have had this breakup or have kind of grown apart or moved away from each other or whatever has happened. I don't think you guys hate each other or been fighting or anything like that, although it is possible for some of you that might be why you don't talk to your sibling. I really feel like for the most part you just kind of drifted apart. You went on with your lives, you had things that you were doing, and you were focused on your own things. And I even feel like one of you moved away, maybe even went off into the military for a while, or far enough away that it's not super easy to communicate or see each other frequently or whatever. That's the kind of energy I'm getting. And your ancestor would very much like for you to maybe rekindle that relationship, because it means a lot to them to see, you know, their descendants getting along and having the kind of relationship that you had. That's a very, very strong message that came through. So I'm going to go with that. Now I'm going to see if there's anything else here. We will look at your charms and get some other information as well. But I'm going to see if there's anything else on the cards that might pertain to you, those of you who chose this pile or wanted to watch this reading. Nope, that's the big, big message. That's the big, big message of how strong you two are together and how much you mean to each other, and so forth. And yeah, so that's what's coming through on that. So why don't we look at our charms and see if there's anything else that we want to say or get through or put through here. Okay, let's see here. Okay. All right. Give these a really, really good shake up. And then see what comes through. Interesting. Not even exactly sure what we got going here. Okay, well, we do have the luxury car. That means traveling might be in order. You know, going somewhere and moving along to make things better in your life might be very useful. We do have the angel heart here. So for those of you that did lose a sibling, or if you can think of an ancestor that you lost that you're thinking of
message coming in on secured channel.
Greatly. Sorry about that. My phone's right here and somebody messaged me. For those of you who have lost a sibling, they're letting you know that they're watching over you and they're with you and they're always will be there with you. That's what that heart message is for, that angel heart. If it doesn't deal with a sibling, for those of you that have not lost your sibling, this has to do with your ancestor letting you know how much they love you and so forth. So that message is very much from people that have gone on. Focus on the good. That's important. Sometimes in life we have trouble doing that, especially if you have lost somebody or have had some traumatic events kind of alter your life. Sometimes it's a little hard to do that. That's interesting. We also have the enough and then the imagine. Whenever I see the enough, that means that whatever behavior that you've been doing or whatever mode that you've been in, enough. What that means is it's time to move on. It's time to focus on something else. It's time to do things differently. That mode is no longer needed. And honestly, that's pretty much what your reading's been saying all along anyway. So that kind of just goes along with that. The imagine one is a lot cooler in a lot of ways, but it's also what I really like about it is you can imagine your life being any way you want it to be. Having the people in it that you want to have in it, doing the kinds of things you like to do, having, the kinds of home and money and cars and possessions and people around you and all of those things. You can imagine that and you can work towards that just by imagining it. And that always means a lot to me when I see that. So that's pretty cool in your reading. You do have some cards here. Let's see if I can decipher any of these here. All right. We do have the Three of Diamonds, which does show good community. It shows creativity. It shows learning, and so forth. So those might mean something specifically to you there. We do have the Four of Hearts. And then the Seven of Diamonds. Sevens denote change. And then also diamonds deal with earthly matters and things. So a time for change is definitely strong in your reading. We do have the Jack of Wands and the Queen of Swords. And those go along with your spiritual desires, your brain and what you think about things, how you think about things, how practical you are, and so forth. So it's kind of your head and your heart. I feel like maybe you've had maybe a conflict between your head and your heart about this matter. And, it's time to kind of integrate the two or work on the two together. Okay? That's kind of the message I'm getting from those. You do have the tennis shoe here. And we had the car earlier. I do think a journey might be in order. I think traveling somewhere, going somewhere, might help with this situation. I do feel like traveling is something that needs to be done because that's what I think of when I see those things. We do have the mysterious kitty here, the kind of the shadow kitty. It is possible that there is some magic involved in this whole situation. That maybe some magical experiences or types of things might be at play to help things work out the way they're supposed to. As in, I think the universe is going to work its magic when it comes to this. That's kind of the way I'm seeing that. It's interesting how you have the sheep as well. What I get from that is don't just go with the flow and kind of hide and be docile and do whatever. Now's the time for you to go boldly forward and move forward and not be a sheep. Okay? And then we have some letters here. Now, there's J, there's I, and there's E. Those could be initials. I thought of the word Julie when I saw this, so I don't know if that means anything to any of you guys, but that came to mind. There might be words that come to mind when you see these letters or initials or other things like that, so I let you guys do a lot of that on your own with the letters that come up, because we don't usually get a ton of letters to spell lots of words. Okay, let's move on to your oracle spheres. You have 4 different stands. You have gold, bronze, silver, and green, and you decide which one you'd like to get your answers on. You think of a yes or no question, and we go out and we get your answers. All right, so number 1, gold, is a probable. Number 2, bronze, is a no. Number 3, silver, is a maybe. And number 4, green, is a not likely. So we have a probable, a no, a maybe, and a not likely. So there's your Oracle Sphere answers for today's reading. Thank you so much for being here and being part of the channel. We appreciate every single one of you. If you have not subscribed, we'd appreciate it if you do that. Also, if you give the video a thumbs up, share the channel with your friends and family, and leave us comments. All those things mean a great deal to us as well. It helps the YouTube algorithm share our channel with people, and that's what we really need more than anything else so that we can grow, and we do appreciate that. If you'd like to check us out on Patreon, we are over there at Crossing the Spiritual Streams. There's a link in the description, and you can sign up for as little as $1 a month to get access to the videos over there, and also be part of getting the free reading that we're offering for people signing up right now. All right, we look forward to seeing you again, and may the stars guide your path. Bye-bye.